So this is the second video looking at the Unit 3 study guide. So looking at this graph, it tells us that Pyra jogs at a constant speed and Diego bikes at a constant speed twice as fast. For us to be able to figure out how far or how fast Diego bikes, we have to figure out how fast Pyra bikes. So to figure out Pyra, we have the line on the graph, and we need to be able to find the slope. So I'm going to use the point 0, 0 and the point 0, 2, 1, and I'm going to draw that slope triangle. So I have a vertical distance here of 1 and a horizontal distance of 0.2. So this is going to be 1 divided by 0.2. And 1 divided by 0.2 is going to equal 5. And what that's telling us is that Pyra bikes 5 miles in 1 hour. But we want to know about Diego. And Diego bikes at a constant speed twice as fast. So if Pyra covers 5 miles in 1 hour, then Diego is going to cover 10 miles in 1 hour. So that equation is going to be y equals 10x. Since we don't, so this represents 10 miles in 1 hour. Well, 1 hour is right here. So we're going to plug in x values into our equation to figure out where to plot those points. So we're going to do y equals 10 times 0.1, and 10 times 0.1 is going to be 1. And then we can do 10 times 0.2. 10 times 0.2 is going to be 2. We can continue doing this pattern. 10 times 0.3 is going to give us 0.33. 10 times 0.4 is going to be 4. 10 times 0.5 will be 5. 10 times 0.6 will be 6. 10 times 0.7, 10, and then 8, and we are out of room. Again, this is going to start at the origin because in 0 hours, they've obviously ran 0 miles. Once you have those points, connect it so that you have your line. So this graph is showing 2 lines. The steeper line is showing how fast Diego bikes, and then the line that was already there is showing how fast Pyra bikes. Okay, question 6. Here's a graph of the proportional relationship between calories and grams of fish. So remember, proportional relationship means that it starts at 0, 0. It wants us to write an equation that reflects this relationship using x as the amount of fish and y to represent the number of calories. To be able to write the equation, we need to find the slope. So if I look at this graph, again, I want to be able to find 2 points where I can draw that slope triangle. So let's use points 0, 0, and this point right here. So this is telling us this point would be 150. So if I draw this slope triangle, I'm going from 0 up to 150. So the vertical is 150, and the horizontal, we're going from 0 to 100. So we have 150 divided by 100, and that's going to give us 1.5. And what this 1.5 means is the number of calories per 1 gram of fish. So our slope is 1.5 or 3 over 2. And so when I write that as an equation, I'm going to have y equals 1.5x or y equals 3 halves x. On part B, it asks us to use the equation to complete the table. So remember, the grams of fish represents our x-axis, and the number of calories is the y. So here I'm going to use the equation y equals 1.5x, and I'm going to plug in the 1,000 in for the x that represents the grams of fish. And when I multiply that, that gives me 1,500. And that's telling me that there are 1,500 calories in 1,000 grams of fish. Let's also go ahead and look at what happens with 1 gram of fish. So again, we're going to plug in the 1 in for x, and then simplify that. So that's going to be 1.5. So 1 gram of fish is 1.5 calories, which also matches your slope up here. The middle column is actually giving you the y value. So we're going to plug in 2001 for our y value, and we're going to solve for x. So this becomes a one-step equation. We're going to divide both sides by 1.5, and the answer to that is 1,334. So this is telling us that 1,334 grams of fish contains 2,001 calories. Alright, if we look at number 7, it says, the graph shows a linear relationship. X represents the number of comic books Pyra buys at the store, all at the same price, and X represents the amount of money in dollars she has after buying the comic books. Question A asks us to find and interpret the X and Y intercepts. Remember, X intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. And the x-intercept is obviously going to be the x-axis. So let's first look at the y-intercept. So if I look, here's the y-intercept, the y-axis, and the graph intercepts at 20. And if I look at the label on the y-axis, it's telling me that it's dollars, so the y-intercept is going to represent $20. The x-intercept, so where my line crosses the x-axis, is right here at 50. So the x-intercept is 5. And what that is telling us is that when she buys 5 comic books, she has no money, or she has $0 left. Part B, it says find and interpret the slope of the line. So again, here it would be a good idea to draw a slope triangle. I'm just going to use the point 0, 20 and 5, 0. So my horizontal is going, my vertical is 20, and then my horizontal is 5. So I'm going to do 20 divided by 5, which is going to give me the slope of 4. And since this line is going down, this is going to be -4. And what this is telling us is that she spends $4 per comic book, or that her money is decreasing by $4 every time that she buys a comic book. Part C, we want to write the equation for this line. Remember, we use the format y equals mx plus b to write equations. So this is going to be y equals our slope, which is -4, x, and then plus 20, because that is the amount of money that she started with before she bought any comic books. On part D, it says if Pyra buys 3 comics, how much money will she have remaining? Well, we can plug into the equation. So y equals -4 times 3 plus 20. So this is y equals -12 plus 20, and 20 minus 12 is 8. So she will have $8 left. Alright. Question 8 says Andre and Pyra are tracking the number of steps they walk. Andre records that he can walk 6,000 steps in 50 minutes, and Pyra writes the equation y equals 118x. This week, Andrew and Pyra each walk for a total of 5 hours. Who walks more steps and how many more? So we want to compare what we know about Andre and Pyra. So for Andre, we know that it's 6,000 steps in 50 minutes. So for us to be able to find how many he walks in 1 minute, to be able to find the rate of change, we're going to do 6,000 divided by 50, and that equals 120. So if I write this as an equation, that's going to be y equals 120x. And then Pyra's is already written as an equation, but that's telling us that she walks 118 steps. So she walks 118 steps in 1 minute. What does it look like? For 1 hour. This is steps, and this is the number of minutes here. So we want to know who walks more steps in 5 hours and how many more. So we're going to plug in 5 in for x, and 120 times 5 is going to be equal to 600 steps. And then over here in this equation, we're going to do y equals 118 times 5. And that's going to give us 590 steps. And so it asks who walks more. Well, Andre is going to walk more. And if we look at the difference between 600 and 590, he's going to walk 10 more steps. Alright, looking at question 9, it says Elena's aunt buys her pays her $1 for each call that she makes to let people know about her aunt's new business. The table shows how much money Diego receives for washing windows for his neighbors. I'm going to select the true statements. So we know over here that Elena is making $1 per call. And then the table is giving us the information about Diego. So to figure out how much money Diego makes, we need to take the y values and divide them by the x. So if we do 30 divided by 27, we get 1.11, or as a fraction, 10 over 9. So this is telling us that he makes $1.11 per window that he washes. And we're wanting just to compare these two and select the statements that are true. So for A, it says that Elena makes more money making 10 calls than Diego makes for washing 10 windows. Well, Elena here is going to make $10. And then Diego is going to make 10 times $1.11, and that is going to equal $11.11. So here, Diego is going to make more money, so that statement is not true. For B, it says Diego makes more money for washing each window than Elena makes for making each call. Well, Elena is only going to make $1 for each call, and Diego is making $1.11. So B is a true statement. If we look at question C, it says Elena makes the same amount of money for 20 calls as Diego makes for 18. So Elena will make $20 because she makes $1 per call. And then when Diego washes 18 windows, that's going to be 18 times 1.11, and that is also going to be 20. So C is a true statement. Question D says Diego needs to wash 35 windows to make as much money as Elena makes for 40 calls. There we know that she's going to make $40 there, but he's making more, so he can wash less windows. If we want to check that, 35 times 111 is 38.85. So he's a little shy, so that one's not going to work. Question E, the equation y equals 9 over 10x, where y is the number of dollars and x is the number of windows, represents Diego's situation. Well, we said that Diego's slope was 10 over 9, so E is not going to work. And then F, the equation y equals x, where y is the number of dollars and x is the number of calls, represents Elena's situation. This is true because this is y equals 1x, or we could just write that as y equals x. So F is a answer as well.